All right, so really quick before we get started today. So like I said, let's be respectful of other people's projects because those are important. We're going to actually read back really quick the starfish story. How many of you remember it? Okay, so some do, not quite all. Remember, I'm going to read it real quick and then I'm going to show you how what you guys did the first time you read it, we can actually apply now to ourselves. Okay, so not just to the boy in the story, but you can actually think reflectively about yourself and about the project you're doing. So, let's remember the starfish story. There was a man who lived along the ocean. One morning at about 5:30 a.m., when he could sleep no longer, he decided to take a long walk along the beach. It was a foggy morning, kind of like this morning with the drizzle and the fog, and the first rays of sun were slipping along the horizon. The man enjoyed the walk. It was as if the beach belonged to him. He glanced down the beach and saw a figure that appeared to be dancing. He wondered why someone would be on the beach that early. His curiosity caused him to quicken his pace. As he drew nearer, he realized that the figure was that of a young man, and he wasn't dancing. He was throwing something into the water. As he drew close, he realized that the young man was picking starfish off the beach and tossing them back into the water. "Excuse me, sir, why are you throwing starfish into the water?" "The tide is going out, the sun is rising, and the starfish that are left on the beach will surely die," said the young man, continuing on his task. "But this is such a waste of time and energy. There are so many starfish, and there are so many miles of beach. What difference does it make?" The young man thought for a moment. He reached down to pick up a starfish and said, "It makes a difference to this one." So when I first had you guys read this, you guys did something and I'm not sure that you even knew you were doing it. But I was having you stop. We stopped reading and I had you kind of step back, or we put down the story. Okay? Sometimes in life you have the expression you have to take a step back. Just means you got to stop and think for a second. And you have to be reflective. So what is this maybe that I drew a picture of? What do you notice? Augusta?
A mirror.
A mirror, right? Because when you look in a mirror, you see your reflection, right? And you have to look at yourself. And you have to sometimes think and ask yourself questions. And in the story, we asked, why would the man be throwing the starfish back into the ocean? And what did you guys say? Why did you guys think he was doing that? Because you were being really reflective and you had some great ideas, some really good thinking. Ellie? Yeah, he wanted to save them, right? So that's why he was doing it. What were some of his other choices? We talked about what could he have done. Augustia?
He could have just walked away, but he was just helping the starfish.
Yeah, he could have just kept walking along the beach, right? He didn't have to pick up those starfish. He made a choice. And we too can make choices. And he didn't think about, well, there are so many miles and I'm never going to be able to finish it. He didn't think about that. He just said, this is what I can do next. And that's when he picked up that starfish and he said, it makes a difference to this one. So I think that you guys don't necessarily know that you're doing this, but this is a really higher level thinking strategy that you're using. When you're able to think about why a character is doing something, you're thinking really deeply. And you can do this with yourself too, not just in books with characters, but you can actually do this during our project. Hang on, Sam, 1 sec. I'll take your question in just a minute, or your comment, because I do want to hear it. I know it's important. But for right now, what you did yesterday, and yesterday was our first day kind of in that design loop of the actual creating phase, where you got all of the materials and you were able to create, right? Okay, I'm going to have you just really quick think and be reflective, kind of like if you were looking at yourself in a mirror. And asking yourself, one, why are you doing this project and why is this important to you? Okay? So think to yourself for a second, try to be reflective. Why are you working on this project for the gray wolves? Why does this matter to you? Do you have a reason? You can put your thumb up to let me know, because I'd love to hear why you think this project is important to you and why you're working on it. If you have something to share, you can put your thumb up. Augustia, did you have something?
So you save the real wolves from extinction and learn about them?
To save them from extinction and learn about them? What else? Sam?
I just have something else that to just say you. You know what's the rest of that satellite movie?
Movie lady, though, honey. Those were the people who were in that video, though. They had to do this too. They had to step back and reflect and think about their project in order to make it as cool as you saw in that video. But again, why are we doing this? Us, Robert.
Because it's important to the gray wolves.
It's important to the gray wolves.
And
Yeah.
they're getting attacked by the farmers.
Sometimes the farmers are getting upset, right? And they're not supposed to be doing anything to the gray wolves, but sometimes when they're hurting their livestock, they're also hurting the wolves, right? And then Keegan?
I just wanted to say something about a different type of group.
Well, I'm going to stick on topic though. We've got to keep our brain in the group. But I appreciate you thinking and connecting it to something else, but for right now, I'm going to have our brains stay in the group, okay? But you can share it with me at a different time. Does that sound okay? Alright, so then I want you to think today, what are your choices? Okay, because I know you guys kind of got started. Logan, you did a great job making that plan for the fence yesterday. Augustia, you guys kind of, and Sam, a few others kind of worked together to figure out how to get the tubes onto the fence using that wire. And it's not that easy, right? It's a little tricky. Yes, you guys are really, I'm appreciating the fact that you're taking your time. That shows me that you really do care and that you're wanting this to look nice. But your choices for today, and I know also Angela and Ellie, they were very, they kind of thought outside the box, and they brought in their blow dryer today, right, to make the wind. And so they were being very responsible. They're ready to take on this day to day. I know that they probably have a plan in mind. But you do have choices today, right? What could be one of the choices that you make in this project? Augustia?
Just quit it.
Just quit it? Is that what you said? Yeah, if you want today, you could just quit. That's a choice.
Why?
Well, I would hope that you would say that. That would be being reflective. Why would you quit?
And why would you?
Somebody
And
has
what
to-
would you do after?
But we know too that sometimes people quit because they think it's getting too hard, right? Or they feel like they're failing. But what do we know about failure? Robert?
Making something better and better.
Yeah, that if you fail, you're probably going to start learning from it and it'll help you to succeed. So you could quit today. That could be a choice. But what else could you do?
I'm gonna stay.
I like to hear that, Sam. Anyone else?
Me too.
Ellie?
I work way too hard.
Hang on, one mic, please.
Instead of quitting, if you're feeling like it's too hard, then you can take a few seconds towards like the why it's too hard.
Yeah. Robert?
Take a water break or something.
Yeah. I like what Ellie said. Can anyone repeat what she said? Augustia? Because I don't think everyone heard.
If it's too hard, take a break and reflect, or take a water break.
Yeah, if it's too hard, sometimes you just got to take a break from it, right? Also, are we doing this by ourselves or are we doing this as a team? Team. And we know that the 4 C's, if you're stuck, talk to someone about it, right? What's that C? Collaborate and communicate, right? Talk to each other. That's a big part of being on a team. So I want you to think real quick, talk with one another. Some of you guys were kind of in groups today, like Angela and Ellie. Sam and Augustia and kind of Keegan, you guys were kind of floating, and then it was like Robert, Logan, and Sam too, but Robert, you kind of went in between some things. So I want you to think about what's next for today. So quickly turn and talk, and then I'm going to let you guys get started, okay?
That's